Of how like they have they have renders for like ESAM probably because he's been a summit, but then everyone else is just like nobodies, just just
got the silhouettes, man.
Stock images. That's great.
All right, so jumping into things here now. This is going to be kind of like the old guard versus the new, right?
Yeah, I agree.
You know, Sparg0 and Chag, definitely very young players, still experienced. They were, you know, very good in Smash 4, but really making a splash here in Ultimate. And of course, ESAM and MVD, they've been doing this thing since Brawl, you know.
And they've been making it work too, you know, that's the thing. They've stayed a top team that entire time, and they don't show any signs of slowing down. But Chag and Sparg0, like, as you were saying, they're that young blood. They come in guns blazing, and we got Sparg0 already with the limit on deck. You might see a crazy conversion right now.
Oh, dang. Almost on cue.
He tried to deliver for me.
Yeah, and again, I always want to point this out during doubles. You see it a lot in Japan doubles as well, that very top level of doubles where you start DIing things like really weird. So right there, the DI on the neutral air for Palutena was actually up and in, so it kind of changed the knockback angle. It made it harder for Sparg0 to get that finishing touch.
And that's smart, right? Because you have to adapt to like where people are expecting you to be and mix up that DI. So it's like, you're not getting that conversion on me. And especially like Sparg0, you know, especially with previous, like Cloud's just been his character for so long that you know he knows where to line it up, right? So that's good counterplay from his opponents.
Yeah, you usually don't want to go for the quote-unquote standard DI in doubles. Obviously, if you have to live, do the DI to live. But on certain follow-ups, you know, and that's why certain throws are just so strong, like Cloud back throw and stuff like that. It doesn't give you much options.
Like room, and that's what's so good about it. But luckily, I mean, so far, this has been going the way of MVD and ESAM. MVD doing a great job of being the stock tank, hanging on that, you know, snake and just kind of dropping bombs everywhere and staying in the back. And it works. You know, he'll always go and give ESAM a C4 if he needs be, and then he'll go for the quick attack, and like it always works.
Yep, just throw the C4 right on top of Pikachu's head. Go get him, buddy.
Yeah, really.
Just like an explosive on you. I think the idea, obviously it's a very good strategy, but just the idea behind it is just funny to imagine.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just like in concept, it's like, wow, isn't that one of the most ridiculous things you've ever heard? But like that's just Smash as a game, right? Like,
true.
There's so many ridiculous things like that.
Yeah, we have like Cloud Strife and Sephiroth, you know, duking it out with Steve. Like, what's going on right now?
Yeah, Steve's the final boss. Like, what happened here? Who made this happen? Oh man, but just like that, ESAM's down to his final stock relatively early as well. MVD only on 29% though, so we'll have that extra stock to work with probably if ESAM ends up getting KO'd early.
Yeah, and that dash attack from Pikachu. I mean, Pikachu, very small, very light, but it has the oomph when it comes to the dash attack and even having the up throw. Wait a minute though, ESAM known for these early gimps. Oh, tries to get the drag down with the neutral air.
Okay, MVD stuck in the corner here. There's actually like pretty good stage control coming up from the blue team right now. It will just kind of hold center like this. MVD forced into the corner. Nice down out of shield coming up with Sparg0 as well, forcing MVD to recover high. Time 2v1 ESAM, and they get him. And now MVD, you know, not all by himself because he had that one stock, right? He's been tanking it just for this exact moment.
Yeah, and I mean, ESAM is usually the one playing frontline, so ESAM's going to take more damage, is going to usually lose this stock. This is going to be a very common scenario here, but it all comes down to if MVD can just really hold down the fort. ESAM coming through the limit. Is it going to get expended? No, the directional air dodge. Hope.
Okay, yeah, straight back air, almost enough to take out MVD, but there we go. The explosion from the C4 is going to catch Chag unaware, and it's going to be a 1v1 between Sparg0 and ESAM. The Sparg0's at 108%, a lot of damage taken. He's going to have to play immaculately here to bring this back.
I love these 1v1s too because, you know, it's a short little preview of what could be of tomorrow, right? Like if ESAM and Sparg0 do end up meeting in bracket, the limit is not going to be enough. The bar wasn't quite there. ESAM closing it off. To be fair, you know, ESAM did have a pretty large percentage advantage, and again, really great job to MVD. And I feel like both you really see the experience seep through when it comes to doubles because it's such clear roles for both of these players, right?
Especially like MVD, like was probably at already like 120 some odd-ish % when ESAM lost his final stock and was able to hang on till the very end still despite that. They weren't able to sandwich him, knock him out extremely early and get the 2v1 on ESAM because MVD is just so used to playing that role and knows how to dodge all the hitboxes.
Yeah. It almost feels like MVD goes into every set with like, okay, I'm working with 2 stocks.
Yeah.
And ESAM has the 4 stocks, but he's the one that's ESAM's the one that's putting himself in more riskier scenarios, taking more damage. He's like essentially playing that front line because Pika has that mobility, right?
And on top of that, like you think about it, MVD, you know how you play a game of Smash and like you get to your final stock, and then you become a good player.
Right,
you know?
right.
Yeah,
true,
just kind
true.
of plays like every hit's going to be his last, and it makes his stocks last so much longer.
He starts the doubles match like that, like just automatically,
exactly.
boom. And it's crazy. So much players would be so good if they played like that every stock,
time,
right? Yeah, but like you said, it's kind of like this instinctual thing that kind of kicks in, right? Like fight or flight kind of deal.
Because there's just some part of you that you feel like you're backed into a corner and you're like, I have to do every option I can possibly think of. But if you can trick your brain into doing that from the get-go, you're going to become that much more fierce of a player. And MVD's so good at doing that in the stock tank position.
Wow, the pass to ESAM, and of course ESAM pulling the trigger on the backer. The backer got the KO, and wow, the fair.
Let's go, Sparg0.
Yeah, I'm surprised that fair like got the KO.
Especially on like someone like Snake, like that's definitely a little bit earlier than you'd expect. But like we've been talking about ESAM and MVD a little bit. Let's give a little bit of focus on the Chag and Sparg0 and what they're doing well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, right now a little bit behind ESAM, actually the one tanking, but Sparg0 has the limit right now. And I mean, I feel like Paulo and Cloud, they're both pretty quick, especially when Cloud has the limit, but it feels like space control, right? Like Palutena with the Nair, you know, Cloud obviously gonna control a lot of area with up air and back air. And look at this, Cloud hits so hard too. I mean, we've seen Sparg0 get so many like up smash out of shield, punishers, or just getting like the fair and bear to close out so many stocks.
And it's like, it threatens such a good range, and especially if you're sandwiched in between Cloud and Palutena, that's two different back airs that you're like, either of these can knock me out. And that's a lot of pressure and will oftentimes lead to crumbling defense.
Right, and it's really impressive that they're able to actually hit ESAM, because ESAM's a very small target. Pikachu notoriously known for hurtbox shifting, so the fact that, you know, Chag and Sparg0 are able to connect that and even try to get some of these earlier KOs, it's such a big deal. And MVD already down to the last stock here.
I know, we were just talking about how great MVD was at stock taking, and then like Chag and Sparg0 decided, you know what, let's take him out early.
Look at that conversion into like the side B into the perfectly spaced explosive flame, and then they follow up from there. Man, the synergy is just so immaculate coming out from the blue team.
Yeah, and they're just trying to end MVD right now, you know? Or potentially, like, if they're able to, like, get the KO on ESAM and MVD around the same time so that, like, you don't get that option for a share stock for MVD, but there we go. The dash tap from ESAM's going to secure that one. Nice down smash from MVD saying, you're hanging on the ledge a little bit too long and catching him.
That was a great read, too, because most players in that situation, you want to wait for your teammate to respawn to put pressure out. So, you know, a pretty decent hunch there from MVD, kind of just like, oh, I'm going to punish you for being a good player kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, especially like the higher your percent is, the less ledge intangibility that you're going to get. So it's like, you really can't be hanging there too long.
So can MVD really hold out on this last stock? 128%, and he's going against characters with quite the firepower here. So.
You can see Chag is hunting, and MVD's just stuck in shield right now. Maybe might go for a grab. Yup, actually pulls the trigger on it, and that's going to lead to ESAM getting a little bit of a conversion, and MVD immediately tries to back up, and you see Chag dashing straight forward him, getting that KO.
Yeah, Paulo's definitely got that grounded speed, and on the hunt, honestly.
Yeah, honestly.
So,
that's like
great stuff.
Yeah, like, dang.
And see, those are like those like small interactions where you might not think it's that big of a deal, but really sealing the deal on that MVD's last stock is so huge. It's probably the most pivotal part of this last sequence here. See if ESAM can try to set something up, but this is going to be rough.
Yeah, 2v1s are always going to be a tough one to have, but if Chag gives you one like that...
Is this the same? Yeah, this is the same situation. ESAM versus Sparg0, 1v1, but the percentages are a little closer this time around.
Which is going to be a big factor because the last time Sparg0 was essentially at a percent where it was like, if I get sent off stage, I'm either going to get dag.
Catching the air dodge there, right there. Sparg0 was afraid of the B reverse thunder follow-up. It is I would call it like a pseudo 50-50. I don't know the exact like numbers behind it and all that jazz, but essentially ESAM going for the neutral air dodge coverage and reading the drift there, getting the base of the thunder, just delaying it a tad bit.
That little bit of delay like really can and will be the difference a lot of the time before catching someone or like not catching them. And that's why like ESAM as a player is just very disciplined in terms of like, you know, doing his homework, sitting in the lab, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, and going by sheer trial and error, and then using the options that work.
Yeah. And I mean, ESAM has been a lab monster, you know, for a long time. He's lapped out like so many things for Pikachu particularly. Even if you watch ESAM stream, he's been picking up Steve. He can do all the crazy Steve combos and stuff like that.
Everything.
Yeah, ESAM can do, in terms of execution, absolutely insane. And just like executing that edge guard there, Sparg0 going to lose the stock sub 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty bad here. Getting hit by the thunder below the stage and then bouncing into it. Didn't really have a way to get back.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a very bad deficit to have at the start of this game. MVD and ESAM looking like they may be able to get this 1-3-0, especially if ESAM gets the thunder like that. Sparg0's down to his final stock in less than like a minute.
Yeah, and that thunder comes out pretty quick, and the base knockback for the spike is extremely powerful. And even like that first thunder as well, even if Sparg0 teched it, he couldn't have made it back because it was so far underneath the stage. ESAM positioning these thunders so well ever since the start of the set, honestly.
Yeah. And granted, like, I don't want to count the blue team out yet. You know, like, there's definitely more Smash to be played. I've seen crazier comebacks happen, and a team like Palutena and Cloud, especially Cloud with Limit, has some options here to bring this back, but there is a timer on that, and that's a great roar back air to go ahead and secure that stock. Is it going to get double? No, you bet that double jump, though. I like that play.
Yeah. ESAM having to break up Sparg0's pressure and really just kind of give MVD a chance to get back to the stage. And I love how Sparg0 would just use the threat of the glowing blue cloud, right? Like, oh, you better watch out. I can do it at any time. It's just like, nah, I'm just going to bury you.
And even you'll get stuck at, like, ESAM's down to his final stock, right? Like, this game seemed like it was a sheer lead for Team Green, and just like that, the stock count is back to even. MVD's at 145. You know he's not going to be hanging on for too much longer. The blue team might actually get their first dub in the most haphazard start to a game yet.
Yeah, which is wild to think about, and honestly just goes to show how clutch Sparg0 and Chag are as a team. You know, being able to bring this back. The limit option, up air not going to connect again. MVD with that upward DI, kind of making it a little harder to follow up.
There we go.
There's a share stock.
And Sparg0 coming back with the fresh stock. MVD getting some good hits in with that neutral air, but we're going to see who's going to fall first permanently. MVD still has a second stock, though. They have to get ESAM and MVD, like, unanimously.
Oh, no, up smash from Sparg0 on that dash attack, but the back air connects. The forward tilt back-to-back Sparg0 closing out 2 stocks.
Okay, this is definitely doable. I like the conversion here. You just get that auto reticle every time you hit him. The cross slash has so much time in between the hits. Like, you know that's guaranteed damage.
Now, Snake is a hell of a 2v1 character. You are a fortress, and 2 players are going to have to come in on you. It can be a little tough because obviously team attack is on, so you can't just be like crazy mashing. And MVD is going to be able to set up all these traps, and blue team already at a decent percentage here. They need to finish Snake off.
Yeah, and I was going to say these town and city platforms need to go away. He keeps retreating to them and buying himself more time, and now in this FD formation of it, really have a chance. Sparg0 going to stand on top, doesn't quite get it here, but that's going to be a limit cross slash, and that's going to be the first game that Chag and Sparg0 are able to get over MVD and ESAM, which, like, I can't believe this is the game they won. You know?
Like, right. If you were like, okay, which game do they win, and you watch the first 40 seconds of this one, you'll be like, nah, there's no way.
Yeah,
this is like the one they super lose, right?
Like, which game do they win? You know, it's like, this is it? Okay.
I really want to give MVD a bunch of props there. He was making that look pretty competitive. Obviously, he was still on the back foot the entire time. You are fighting 2 people, but it was looking pretty doable, especially if he was able to get on the stage and kind of like set up some explosives, then maybe find an up tilt opening on Chag or whatnot. But Chag and Sparg0 just cleaning it up. Really nice stuff with the Sparg0 with the roll, positioning by roll with the limit cross slash.
And I have to say as well, like, because Snake, you were saying, is like one hell of a 2v1 character. You get the C4 in the right spot. If either player walks by there, they have to respect the play.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like, I think of MVD versus Light, right? Where Light gets the crazy spot dodge because, like, it's like, hey, you walk by or press the button, but like, it's one of those things where like you have to look out for it regardless if you're ahead or behind. And we're going right to Kalo's Pokemon Stadium for game number 4, which, it's going to be a bit of a shift of scenery, right, in comparison to Town and City.
Yeah, and I know this is a great Pikachu stage, but it's a lot more different in doubles. Obviously, Pikachu is able to set up the T-Jotes along the wall, but sometimes that could interrupt your teammate and stuff like that. So you can't really like throw too much projectiles willy-nilly. You have to be aware of your teammate as well. But MVD and Chag honestly taking quite a bit of damage here. start of game number 4.
Now, one thing I will say is that I do like this stage for MVD, just because we
Yeah.
saw in the last game, this was essentially the layout of Town and City that he was able to make his comeback on. So if it does come down to that scenario, I think he'll be in a pretty good spot to get all the damage.
Yeah, I think MVD really likes these platforms on the left and right. TLDR.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's a great place for Snake. You know, just set up headquarters real quick. You know, set the C4.
Put the box.
Yep.
Get everything there and make sure you really unpack your groceries, because it's going to be a tough time. This is already much slower of a paced game, right?
Yeah. And the stage is so large as well. So, you know, the blast zones are large. The actual real estate on the stage is large as well.
Nice.
But even with all of that, these stocks are still flying here. Pikachu now also leaving. Now Sparg0's the only one here with 3 stocks.
Okay, throws the Blade Beam from downtown, doesn't even travel the whole stage. You know, like, that's
Great
how
assistance.
big Kalos is.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, the Thunder, I believe. Okay, there is the double jump.
Goes high.
I love the recovery to the platform.
I agree. It's just like the safest spot you can go to there, and unless MVD is there waiting to cover, which like Snake isn't going to be fast enough if he's not already there, that's a safe spot to go to.
It's so funny. MVD's always on one of those platforms.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
He's chilling there, dude. He's set.
Yeah. Okay, finally, Sparg0's first stock is going to go down the drain. 2 stocks apiece for everyone across the board here. Man, I really got to say, Chag's explosive flame placement has been so
agree.
pinpoint accurate.
Especially like not stepping on Sparg0's toes
Yeah.
at all, really, right? Like really just getting the preciseness down to a T, and it's working out completely in their favor right now as they have ESAM down to his final stock. MVD should be soon to follow, and Sparg0 is so healthy right now.
Yeah, and these players make it look real easy to like not have your projectiles hit your teammate, but when you play doubles, and especially at this pace, it is extremely, extremely hard to do that. Oh man.
Okay, yeah, this is looking like this is going to go to a game 5. This could potentially be a reverse 3-0. If you're ESAM and MVD, you're going to be really upset if you let that happen. But we'll see if that is going to be the case as 2v1 initiates.
Yeah, this is going to be tough here. ESAM, I mean, your out is probably off stage here, but I don't know if they're going to let it happen. Yeah, goes for the Thunder. I respect the play. You gotta make something happen, right?
Yeah, and it's one of those things where like I feel like ESAM could like chain someone off stage with either Fairs or like Bears. The hit lag takes so long that like someone's gonna be able to interrupt that. You know what I mean?
Right. Look at all this safe damage. ESAM just trying to set up an offstage situation, but he's taken 97, now 108% trying to do so.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna camp the side, throw out some Thunder Jolts, try to rack up some damage, but this is a tough comeback to make. ESAM knows it. He's gonna take his time.
Okay, zipping. Yeah. That's one hell of an attack. Zipping past 2 people, getting center stage. Looks like a pretty good move.
Not doing a whole lot of damage though. He's like, you're gonna rack up all your damage.
I think there's no double jump on Paulu. The down air, the magnets, and I love how Sparg0 was locking ESAM down so Chag could make it back. That was so key, and it might have looked like a mistake, but ESAM essentially had to respect Sparg0 because, you know, if he goes for that down air, Sparg0's just going to get the KO via dash attack or up smash.
And at that point, it's like, well, then you're losing the stock. So it's like, I want to like checkmate you, but really it's a checkmate for me. And that's how you like make a good play, right? Like make an option look extremely attractive, because you do that, you bait them in, and boom, that's the game.
Yep, so ESAM trying to clutch up there, but very, very difficult situation. We'll see how this game 5 ends up being. Man, just a just crazy amount of momentum for the first 2 games for MVD and ESAM, and now a crazy, you know, amount of momentum for Chag and Sparg0. We'll see if it evens out here in this game 5 situation. MVD and ESAM have the counter pick. I wonder if they go back to Kalos. They kind of got mopped up on that stage. So
I thought it was going to be much better for them, honestly, and it looks like they are going to stick to their guns. But I'm just like, I'm still thinking about how game 3 is the game that they lost, right? Like, that was just a moment where you needed to like, you know, turtle up a little bit, just execute and close out the set. And now, you know, you kept saying, or you asked on Twitter, are you a choker or a closer? And I'm like, bro, they might be chokers right now. Are they chokers, or
maybe Chag and Sparg0, they're just closers.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's always 2 sides of the coin here. But yeah, it's rough. It's rough. I mean, even just being in those situations, and you can't really like think about it too hard, right? Because if you keep harping back on that moment, game 3, where it's like, okay, this should have been over already, you know, that kind of stuff is not going to help you win this set. here, game 5 situation, you got to be, all your mental efforts got to be here on this game.
And one thing I will say is, like, despite the fact that MVD lost that stock, ESAM is the healthier one, which means ESAM actually gets a little bit of wiggle room to be more aggressive, right? Because if MVD's sitting in the back waiting for that pass, that can be an up tilt, that can be a smash attack, that could be a C4. It leaves opportunities here. You can go ahead and set up Nikita while ESAM's taking point.
Oh my goodness, no jump here. The limit will be forced.
Nice.
There's the jab. Oh, nice wall jump. And ESAM, even when ESAM gets hit away, can just quick attack right back into the fray, right back into the fight, man.
Which is like, it's cheeky, but it's also such a great option, right? Because it means he's never going to be gone for too long, and it means he's able to threaten a whole lot more of the stage than most characters can at any given moment.
Wow, great shield, like consistent shield pressure, the cross slash right into the forward smash. Chag, that was an amazing play, amazing play.
Yeah, right now, I mean, Chag and Sparg0, they're going to keep this one competitive. This one's definitely going to be a nail-biter all the way down to the final moments. These teams are duking it out exquisitely right now. And ESAM playing point, going in on both Chag and Sparg0, trying to finish off Chag right here. Gets a little bit of a hit, a get-up attack as well. He's getting that great extra damage. He must be happy about that.
Oh, yeah. 2 stocks apiece. MVD trying to hold on here. The get-up attack does get damaged, and now MVD taking the back foot, but the sneaky C4, you can't forget.
That's hard, man. Especially in doubles. It's so
doubles,
much harder
it's
to
harder
see.
for sure.
It's so much harder to see. There's so much to keep track of, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Who's got the limit? Where's the C4? Pikachu's T-jolting over there. Palutena teleporting over here. Like, explosive
like
flame.
15 different colors. Like, you know, like what's going on, man? You're trying to dodge and maneuver and bob and weave, and the next thing you know, there. You know, it's like now. It's like, oh, man, what are you going to do?
Yeah. I want to hit these 2 players. I don't want to hit this one player.
With that said, though, it's looking like MVD is going to be the one down to the final stock again here. And you see he's tried to retreat behind ESAM quite a bit, but like right now, like ESAM's over there. He's on the opposite side of the stage. Meanwhile, we see MVD getting 2v1, and I'm wondering, like, is that what you want to have happen here?
I think Cloud is the one with the C4. Detonates. Oh, the air dodge comes out, but the up air from ESAM to trap.
Can't believe that KO'd.
Yeah, it had to have been cross-up DI.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, Pikachu up air, it has a weird angle, but if you get the cross-up, it can kill at like 130, 140 up there. And get the stick again. He's just quick attacking right back into the fray. Oh my goodness, and what a turnaround.
Yeah, this is going to be it, potentially. I mean, Sparg0 used to get something here. It has like 2/3 of the limit bar, but, oh, that's going to be a big conversion.
Limit is about to come online here. Okay, there it is. Got to make something happen, maybe on MVD. Pikachu a little low percentage, but might have to be forced to use this limit defensively. That would be huge.
So I don't really know what you do here for Sparg0. Nothing that you're going to do is really going to KO MVD at this percent. So then it's like, you need to get that extra damage, maybe try out a Blade Beam, but instead you're the one on the receiving end of some damage. Uses the iframe from that throw, though, to get through the grenade. That's smart.
What? Oh, no way. Oh. I was like, is he going to weave an up smash between all this chaos?
Old stick. You can see it on ESAM's belly right now. Oh, it's on Sparg0 now. He's rolling. He passes it back to MVD. Hot potato, baby.
That's so funny. It's like, oh, the C4 is on me, just run at the snake. I'll take you with me.
It is rolling all over the place, you know? It's like normally like, oh, why are you rolling so much? But the moment the C4 is in play, everybody rolling.
Okay, there's the C4. Maybe trying to set up another one. Sparg0, some way, somehow making this look very competitive?
Yeah, you know, and like ESAM and MVD.
Okay.
It's fair.
No?
Not quite enough. But they're being pretty cheap with it. It's like a bunch of Thunder Jolts and then grenades to go. Oh, yeah, that's definitely it. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that one's KOing. And just like that, MVD and ESAM are able to clutch it out in Game 5. They are closers. Barely, but they are closers, all right?
Yeah, good stuff to MVD and ESAM, but man, Sparg0 put out one hell of a fight there, man.
That was crazy.
Like, that was over a minute of Sparg0 like duking it out with just 2 players straight up. Even kind of got Pikachu to a percentage, like the second limit that came around, it was like, oh man, like you land this on Pikachu or Snake, and you could potentially take their stock depending on, you know, what side of the stage you hit them on. That's and all that jazz. So
like that player, like, absolutely cracked. Like, I'm so happy that like he absorbs information like so just like, I don't know, dude. He's like a plant.
Yeah,
you know, it just comes to him, and he's like, yeah, yes, I'm growing. Like, I love seeing that man pop off. Granted, didn't make it out in that set, but like, that was Game 5. You know, they can do some magic and then bring that back around. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, so incredible showing from Sparg0 and Chag, but they will be going on to the losers finals, and MVD and ESAM closing that one out. Kind of close there,
Yeah,
you know.
it
Was that game. That game 3 was looking very much so in their favor, but again, just props to Chag and Sparg0 just clutching it out, and even just being able to bring it back from that specific game was the most impressive thing of that set for sure.
Because it felt like that set should have been done, and they were able to just make the proper adjustments, find the early KOs, really reset and rethink their positioning, and come out on top. But that means like we're getting down to the final legs of the tournament. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna have they're sitting in losers finals, and then Mars and Light have to fight Kurama and Varen, right? I think that's it for the teams we have left in the tournament, right?
Yeah, top 3.
So.
All right, so, I mean, we've been having a fantastic time so far, but we're going to take a quick break, stick around, and we're going to finish up the doubles bracket.